Oh, yes, the beans, the refried beans.
Rice and beans. Mike's super clean these days.
And the other stuff they got, the real food they got, that's the biggest shit in the world. The guacamole, what is it?
Guacamole.
Yeah, that's the
Love
biggest
it.
shit in the world now. If you put guacamole in shit, the shit'll be better. If you put guacamole
That's how good it is.
The shit'll be better.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of HOTBOX.
Long time no see, buddy.
I'm Evan Britton. We're back in the saddle, brother.
All day.
We're back in the saddle. You had a little vacation?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's awesome, man. Went to Europe?
Man, yeah.
All
Watched
over?
my daughter. She was practicing. Then I went to Poland. Then I went to Ukraine. Then we came back.
Beautiful, man. Well, we got a great guest to kick it off.
Yes, sir.
We got the #1 heavyweight kickboxer in the world here,
No
dude.
champion, dude. They got
Rico
the belt.
Verhoeven. What's up, my brother?
Glory
I'm good.
champion.
How are you guys? Thanks for
You're doing
having
awesome,
me.
Rico.
We're great, man. Yeah, it's great to have you in here. Look at this belt. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's nice.
You look good. You slimmed down since last time I saw you, man. You look
Yeah,
like,
you think so?
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you,
You
sir.
look good,
Thank
brother. You're 6'6",
6'5".
6'5".
6'5", yeah.
How much do you weigh? 260?
No, I'm a little bit heavier now.
Yeah.
Oh, you really? Get the fuck out of
yeah,
here,
I'm
really?
Looking
that
good,
serious.
dude.
I'm like, I think I'm about 120 kilos. So how much is that? Around.
It's 2.2 kilos per pound, right?
So I think it's about 270.
Wow, you're a monster, man.
Fucking monster, bro.
Yeah. So
Let me see exactly. 120 kilos times 2 point. No, that's wrong. 120
You're right.
times 2.2. Nope, that didn't work. 120
Fucking up, man.
times 2.2. 264.
264. Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid, brother.
That's good shit, though, man.
Hell yeah,
That's what it
dude.
is. That's what
What's
it is.
happening? I
So-
ate the fucking food.
Yeah, they're gonna get the food. We got food.
I'm talking
coming.
about
Oh,
what
nice.
they're eating,
Oh,
man.
Rico.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Rico, what do you
He's
eat?
only 30.
Wait, so you're from? Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
So you're from the Netherlands.
Yes, sir.
Where at? Tell us about where you come from.
So I come from a small town. It's called Halsteren, and it's about 30 minutes from Rotterdam. That probably everybody knows. And I think an hour and 20 minutes from Amsterdam.
Okay.
So it's a little bit in the south. It's quiet, and I grew up there, so everybody knows me, and that's what I like, because in Holland it's like crazy now from the popularity of kickboxing. So everywhere I go, big cities, people want pictures, and it's sometimes it's hard, especially when you're with the family, of course.
Yeah.
But we work with it. But over there, where I live, everybody knows me, and they just let me be.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You know Boss Rutan?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's from
He's a
over
legend.
there.
That's I'm sure you grew up like watching him.
Yeah, for sure.
He's the hometown hero.
Yeah, he is.
Home country hero.
Yeah.
Is he from
And-
close?
yeah, he's from out there, isn't he?
Where's he
Yeah,
from?
from
Do you know?
Holland.
Yeah,
From
he's
Holland
somewhere
area.
from
The Dutch
somewhere around-
area?
Yeah. I love Boss.
Yeah,
Great
he's,
guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And
So much
Overeem-
energy.
Overeem too, right?
Yeah,
That's the guy-
Overeem.
he came from
He's
close
from
to Amsterdam.
Yeah, okay, Amsterdam.
So that's we trained once or twice.
Were you always a big kid?
Yep.
Yeah. Always
Yeah.
the biggest guy.
Yeah, always the biggest guy in the classroom.
Me
and,
too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man.
Ever since I was a little kid, I was always the biggest kid.
I remember
in my class.
doing my first demonstration kickboxing fight. I was 7. I started when I was 6.
Wow.
But my dad was teaching, so he said, "I want to give some more. I want to get some more people to the gym. So let's do a demonstration day. So everybody does something. I said, okay, cool. You're gonna do a demonstration fight. I said, cool.
And you're 7?
So I was 7, and I was fighting a guy who was 10. Because just to match the weight
Yeah.
and the height. It was it was crazy.
How'd you do in that one?
It was fun. It was fun. It's actually on YouTube. It's crazy funny.
Really?
Yeah. And when I watch it now, I was like, Dad, what were you thinking? He just had us put on gloves, but we were kickboxers. We were also kicking. We had no shin guards, nothing.
Oh my God.
So but it was like back in the
The
day.
demonstration day.
It's just a demonstration, but
Fuck.
I remember after that fight, jumping on my mother's lap, crying. So I'm not doing that anymore, by the way. But yeah, that's how it all started.
Wow, dude. So
Long
your
time
dad
ago.
was a kickboxing trainer?
Yeah. So he started from Kyokushin karate.
Okay.
So yeah, and he got injured during a fight with his leg, and then he needed to recover. So doing some fitness, doing some boxing, then started kickboxing. Then people started asking him, "Hey, why don't you teach?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's go." So from that moment on, he pulled me to the gym, and that's how it started.
Wow,
Never stopped.
dude. So you've been training since you were 6.
Yes, sir.
Wow, man. And you're 29?
No, 30.
You're 30. What does your training regimen look like? Outside of kickboxing, outside of your martial arts training, are you doing weights? Are you doing a lot of cardio?
Oh, for sure, yeah. So I think I just started with kickboxing and weight training, and then I just look around at the competition. Everybody was doing the same, but I was thinking like, hey, I'm big and I'm heavy, so naturally I'm slow. But I was always training with like middleweight guys. So I thought I need to get faster. I need to have more energy to keep up with those guys. So I started trying and implementing different trainings from different sports into kickboxing. Like I was like, hey, let's try this and do some more explosive training. So some more agility, the speed ladder, stuff like that, running up the stairs, and that was working. And that now I think gives me a big advantage on all the rest of the guys.
Hey, great.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
You've
sense.
been doing it for a long time, huh?
Yeah, and of course that, and just every time I'm never comfortable with where I am. So even now I'm still looking at what can I do different, or what can I do better.
Who would you like to fight? I'm talking about any organization. Which champion would you want to fight?
Whatever would work, you know. I think if now we're talking like a dream scenario,
Yeah.
like how cool would it be? But you should have another guy that would like that too, to have a mixed fight. So we had like Conor go to boxing,
Yeah.
but how crazy would it be? For example, an heavyweight UFC champion. Let's do an MMA fight and let's do a kickboxing fight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Or let's do a boxing fight and let's do a kickboxing fight for a boxing champion. I think that would be insane.
I think that's the fucking future, dude.
I hope so.
Have you heard of the PFL?
Yeah, of course.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's really
We had
dope.
Don Davis and his buddy in here the other day.
And he'll
And
challenge anybody $1 million. Any champion against his champion, $1 million, and his champion will winner takes all.
yeah. Shouldn't they do
I think they should put up a little bit more money.
Yeah, we could probably
You know what
do
we're
it.
talking about, champ. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get Michael pump it up. Michael
Yeah.
be the promoter.
They'll put more money up. Shit.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get fucking Coca-Cola to throw money down with
And
Alki
let's do
David. Alki will throw down 15 million. I already
yeah.
talked to him about it.
Oh, that's
I'm just
beautiful.
kidding.
I'm down.
But yeah, fuck yeah, dude. But don't you think? I think that would be a great idea. You have all the best from each league fight each other.
Yeah, but also then cross.
Yeah, and crossover. Absolutely. Tell us about the Glory League. Glory
Glory kickboxing.
kickboxing.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think
pure kickboxing.
it's pure
That's
kickboxing.
good shit, though. It's
And they have the best. They are the best stand-up combat
Nice.
organization there
You
is.
should check them out.
Do it right on the phone.
So they have all the best kickboxers.
Yeah.
So
Tell us about it.
yeah, and they're making the biggest fight, the biggest fights. So and of course you have a lot of different organizations as well now at the moment, but still they're not on that level. It's like everybody wants to be here because they want to compete with the very best.
Glory's the top.
Yeah, Glory's the top. So
Yeah, Glory.
But you can be a kickboxer in the UFC, right? Or no?
Yeah, but I should definitely work on my takedown defense and stay upstanding. But it's what you see in kickboxing is just and MMA. It's a totally different sport. The whole distance changes. The whole distance game changes from. So now, actually, to give you guys a very, very, very exclusive thing, we're making the biggest fight, the biggest kickboxing fight there is Rico versus Badahari.
Oh, I love that.
So we did it once.
Where is that? Come on, let's look up number one. What happened to number one?
It's coming right now. Mike! Oh, yeah. Saturday. And don't forget to ship out those hoodies to our fans. How do I know who this goes to? You know, this is not what I do. Oh, fuck!
Hey, Eben, what's up?
I'm not gonna get the hoodies out in time, man.
Eben, I'm busy, okay? I'm at a photo shoot, all right? Try ShipStation.com.
ShipStation? Right now, Hotboxin listeners can try ShipStation free for 60 days when you use promo code HOTBOXIN. There's absolutely no risk. You can start your free trial without even entering your credit card info. So use code HOTBOXIN and get your ship together at ShipStation.com.
Oh, we got another champion coming in.
Hey, brother. Hey, man.
UFC.
I'm Eben.
Evan Kamaru.
Eben.
What's up,
Good to
champ?
meet you,
Look
brother.
good
Have a
over there.
seat.
Meet you.
What's up, bro?
Cool.
You're in the building.
Look at all the belts.
It's a lot of gold in this.
Yeah, for real.
A lot of gold belts,
A lot of
dude.
bling gold. Look at this.
My Uncle Mike, how you doing?
This is beautiful skin, brother. Plug it, yeah.
Pleasure. Oh,
Oh, this is beautiful, man. Look at these guys.
This is dope, dude.
Where you at, Rico?
knocked out.
Top 10 knockouts of all time and glory.
Oh, neat.
These guys aren't. So when you fight kickboxing, you don't have anything on your shins or your feet.
Oh, look at that poor guy.
It's actually, for the rest, the total the same as MMA, but we're just not allowed to clinch or just for a few seconds,
Uh-huh.
and and that's it.
Oh, man, look at this stuff.
This is the light heavyweight division.
Light heavies.
Oh, it hurt.
Oh,
He was out.
Poor bastard.
Fuck. Ah. So we were just talking about doing a cross-league, cross-discipline tournament to see who the best fighters in the world are.
Cross.
So like the best fighters from the UFC fight the best fighters from the PFL, fight the best fighters from Glory.
See, now the thing is, what would be the rules?
exact. That's what we
There you go.
what we were talking
That's-
about. Like,
Well, these
and
are
I
the
think
these are the
we should-
logistics we
we
got to
should do-
figure
We
out.
should do a mixed fight. So, you fight a Glory champion in your division in kickboxing, but also in MMA.
Okay,
And that's,
well,
that's
I mean,
the way you should cross
yeah,
it.
but then you'll get a bunch of one-on-one. You'll get a bunch of me go over there, potentially get beat up in a kickboxing fight, and he come over here and get smashed in an MMA fight or submitted.
Yeah.
You'll get a bunch of those. I think I do actually think ONE FC is doing something like that to where they're mixing it to where it's like kickboxing with MMA gloves.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good
Or Muay Thai, something like that. They're getting the closest to it, but I mean, MMA is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that is everything.
Yeah.
That's every mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Rico going in there and working on your ground game?
I did it.
You've done that.
Yeah, I've done it. I did one MMA fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd it go? How'd you feel?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
But for damn sure it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's just something you have to get used to. It's like the first time you get into an octagon is like totally different than getting into a ring.
You feel naked.
Yeah, like
I remember the feeling. It was you train the whole time, and when you're training, people don't pay attention. You're training and training. You got shirt on. You got shorts or whatever, pants or whatever you have on. Maybe shoes, big boxing gloves. And you train and you doing all that. But then I remember that moment. I was walking into the cage for the first time, my professional fight, and I didn't have any amateur fights. I went straight pro, and so I was climbing up. I'm like, oh shit, I'm naked. All I have is these little tights on and these little 4-ounce gloves with wraps on. I'm naked in here, and it wasn't until I even when I hit him for the first time, that was the first time I actually like really hit somebody with malicious intent, like actually trying to hurt them. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is different. It's a different feeling. And then once I got hit, it was a fight. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, it is a trip, I bet.
Yeah, what I remember is like in the ring, in the end it's the same, but in the ring, when I step into the ring, I mean, of course I'm used to it, but you got like a feeling you can still get out. You can get through the ropes. When I got into the octagon, and I was in there, my opponent was in there, and the door closes. Like, hey,
you're in a cage.
I can't get out anymore. This is a total different game right here.
It is. It's a different mind-blowing experience.
A trip, right?
It's a trip from. First of all, it's a trip for me even being here. Mike, you don't understand how many almost fights you caused in my house growing up as a young man.
It's a trip, right?
It was. I remember it was one fight. It was one fight that we bought, and my dad used to have these fight parties. And so, I'm Nigerian, and so we all the Nigerian, the friends, we call them Afemai, like my dad's friends. They would all come over to watch the fights, and my dad ordered the fights. So it's a big night. We got the beers, got the coolers, got the drinks over there. We had food for everybody. The men are huddled up, gonna watch this. The women are on the side talking and doing what they do, and the kids were kind of playing. But I always watched my dad. I always was always focused on what he was doing. And my dad wanted to run outside really quick for something. And the fight was starting. They started walking. And you were walking. I think one time you were walking in. If I could remember, you didn't even have a shirt on. You were walking in. Boom, you came in. And I was watching from a distance. And my dad, he's like, I'm going to run out real quick. Come right back in. He comes back in. Fight's over.
Oh,
my
God.
Literally, I think it maybe 30, 20-something seconds it took you. Boom, boom, guy's out. My dad comes in, fight's over. And I don't remember exactly, but it was somebody's going to fight in this house today. Oh, the fight's over, somebody going to fight in this house. My dad was so mad so he got to watch just the replays of it.
Got the highlight.
And that was my childhood growing up and watching Mike. And one thing that I also remember that I said I would do is, I don't know if it was an interview of yours or you said that the first belt you got was it WBC belt? Yeah, and you said that you like almost wore it for almost like a week.
Yeah.
Wore it everywhere. And I was like, man, if I ever win a belt, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear it in the shower. I'm gonna wear it everywhere.
You gotta love it, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a dream. That's a dream. You gotta love it.
Absolutely.
It is. But I got the belt. I was like, should I wear it everywhere?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you can wear my belt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what should I do? Should I put it next to me while I sleep? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a friend here that actually
Best in the world.
wears it, would wear it everywhere. He carries all his belts everywhere. And I don't know, did you guys know he had a gold medal too?
Henry?
I had no idea. That's beautiful, huh?
He will tell you guys he has a gold medal as well.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Henry, where is he at?
Henry, I was just with him I was just with him, Henry Cejudo.
He's been on. He's been in here, man.
That's my guy.
Henry's the man.
Man.
Had a lot of champs on this pod, man.
It's a lot of gold in this. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of gold in this building.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
A ton of
doubt.
gold.
I
There's a
guess
ton
so,
of gold
Henry.
and a ton of weed. So
Oh man, I'm really blasted over here. The food didn't get here yet.
Your food?
Yeah, what's the
It's
Guys,
probably
Mike is-
here almost.
Mike is hungry. So
Mike needs to eat.
yeah.
Yeah, he does.
If I need to run and go get food myself, I'm gonna get food.
Yeah.
famished
They can hear us out there. Whoever it is,
oatmeal?
our brothers
Get
getting it.
food in here for
Um,
Mike as fast as possible.
Yeah, dude, they're on it. They're on the food, baby.
But Mike attended a Glory event.
Yeah, that's why I like Glory. But like,
Tell us about it, bro.
listen, man. It was exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't think I thought it was gonna be like UFC, but you know these guys were getting knocked out cold. They were getting knocked out cold. I thought it was pretty cool. And there was this one guy that was kicking ass. It was a black guy. He just looked like fucking Bruce Lee. He was doing the fucking karate stuff. The back kick, he dropped the guy, kicked him, dropped the guy. Then he went over to me and said, champ. I said, turn around, motherfucker. And then
The fight was still going?
Yeah, the guy fucking kicked him in the head and knocked him out cold.
Oh my god.
But he was looking so good, like Bruce Lee doing Bruce Lee shit, kicking him, knocked the guy down. I said, oh shit, and he said like this, hey champ, this is for you. I said, turn around, motherfucker. The guy
watch
kicked
the fight.
Guy kicked him in the head, knocked him out.
He knocked the guy out that said, "What's up to you?"
Yes,
That's
yes.
So-
ridiculous.
So you just like turn your face like
Oh,
I don't know.
fuck.
I
Sorry,
don't know
brother.
what happened. But that's just my. I don't know if people
Yeah, hey,
realize
you gotta
this.
protect yourself at all times, dude.
That's
What is that, dude? What is that?
We got some beans, some corn. Some
No, that's
fish.
not my shit,
What would you
dude.
like?
Where that Nick got? Did
Yeah,
Nick back yet?
Talk to Nick.
All right.
And Henry, bring your little ass over here. And hey, Henry, come
Henry!
here with us.
Yo,
Yes.
How are you, man?
We need another
see
we
chair
need
for
a
Henry.
chair here
Yeah.
for
Right here, there we go.
for
Right
Triple
there.
Get another
C.
Right
chair.
behind them. There go the chair.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You guys put in my nose in the back.
Oh, fuck no, dude. You guys are center stage. Wow, look at this.
Oh, it's
Oh man,
that's a
lot
lot.
of
It's
gold.
a
This shit's
ton.
heavy,
You're a
bro.
double champion, huh?
This shit is
triple champion.
All these fucking
Look at
belts,
this.
man.
You have a dude who just carries these around for you, man. Fucking nuts.
That shit's incredible, right?
You guys
Awesome.
Step up here.
This is incredible stuff, man.
Here, come up here. Come up this way a little bit first.
You guys are hotboxing with
Hey, tell Nick where's the
Yeah,
food?
bro. Henry, tell everybody what's up, brother. It's great to see you again.
No, it's great to it's great to
Oh,
be
look
with
at
it's
you.
great
Oh,
to be
Jay in
with
the pocket.
Look
All
at
the
that.
fucking stolen, dude.
it was a gift. You know, the first time I smoked with Uncle Mike,
Thank you, brother.
it's hard. It was hard for me to do that. You know, the reason why, Mike, I say that is because a lot of people still have a bad stigma because of this. You know,
Why is that?
Where's your food, brother?
Let's see what's in there. Why you think that is, Henry?
what's the back? I mean, I think people are still caught up in 1952, 1936.
38, 37, some shit like that.
And anyways, I got you know, a lot of people gave me a lot of like, dude, you smoke with Mike, you did all this, and it was fun, Mike.
So you got rice, or you got your oatmeal and your fruit. Rice and beans. A little salsa.
They better get it right.
Mike is on that focus game.
They better get it right.
Focus.
And Mike is
Mike's got
locked
the
in.
munchies on.
Mike is locked in.
I said Mike was lit before the podcast.
Big time.
I was like, Uncle Mike forgot my name. I was like, Mike, I was. I said, you tweeted me.
Yeah, you know what? One thing that I was gonna is people. I don't know if you understand. This is a rare thing. Is that star power? There's a moment where you have that star power to where I think you don't even realize anymore of how people see you, how you're perceived. And Mike,
I don't know how my
is-
wife perceives my back. Wow.
Mike, I don't know if you know this, but it doesn't matter if it's Super Bowl champions in the room. It doesn't matter if it's NBA champions, if it's NASCAR champions, if Tiger Woods is in the room. It doesn't matter. at what time, whatever they're doing. If Mike Tyson walks in the room, everybody knows Mike Tyson's in the room. That's right. And that I think that's a level of star power that as athletes we only dream of. And I think that was the same thing with Muhammad Ali as well. That's something that people only dream of.
But could I stop you there for a minute? But I'm gonna tell you this too, and I want to share a story though, Mike. But I'm sure you feel it a lot. At the same time, with what you're saying too, and you feel it now. You know, you're a champion. I see you get pulled around. But it's hard, man. This man has no privacy, man.
No.
Can I tell you guys a quick story real quick? This is a good story. So, everything that you're saying, Usman, fuck, for sure, dude. But what he has to deal with too, man, my God bless you. Anyways, I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story because I kind of want to fall into this real quick. I threw out the first pitch for the Florida Marlins, and Derek Jeter, I guess he's an MMA fan. You know, this is Derek Jeter. This is the man. And, he wanted to meet me. So I threw out the first pitch for the Florida Marlins, and they said, and around this time I had just beat Demetrius Johnson. So I had just beat Demetrius Johnson. I was on a whirlwind. I had a lot of people, a lot of people knew who I was. Like I was big, and I just didn't know how to handle it, man, because there's a lot of people, man. A lot of, like, my energy was being sucked, like literally. Like, I was just sick of it. And then, so I go up and so they told me, like, hey, Derek Jeter wants to meet you, and he's in a suite, and, like, one of the most prestigious persons, like, in sports is up there. And, we want to surprise you when you go up to the suite. I'm just like, man, I was like, I wonder who could it be? You know what I mean? So one of the greatest sports figures of all time in the world, period. So then I'm just thinking, okay. Whatever. I don't know, man. I met Mike Tyson. I've done that. Anyways, I go up there. I see Derek Jeter, and to my right, Michael Jordan was, like, right there, like, sitting, and peacefully watching the game. And I sit there. I was talking to probably Derek Jeter for like 20 minutes. I'm over there kind of staring at Michael Jordan because, it's Michael Jordan. So I'm over there staring and keep looking back. It's like, oh, that's Mike. And then finally, after 20 minutes, Derek Jeter was like, I was going to go back down and watch the game. Like, let him have his time with his family, with this kid. And he's like, Henry, he's like, you want a picture with Mike? With Jordan? And I'm like, I do, Derek, but I know what this man goes through, and I just can't do that to him. He's watching the game. He's in this position right here. And then the cool thing about it is Derek Jeter looks at me, which fucking made it. He's like, Henry, he says, I like you, man. You're a fucking stud. I like you. And we just shook hands and I left. You know what I mean? So yeah. The moral of the story is man, the man needs his peace.
Absolutely.
The man needs his peace, as legendary as he is, and I don't think people sometimes respect that enough.
People don't care. People don't care.
But I
anymore.
think it's the enthusiasm they have.
Yes.
Just overwhelms them, and they just think like, I want a picture, I want to touch him, I want to do something to get close to this person because they get so excited.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we know it from
What do
right
they
from
think
time.
our purpose is? Or people from that staff, what do you think their purpose was? When Jesus was around, he was like a rock star, and his purpose was to let the people feel him and touch him. Let them know, listen, you could be whatever you want to be too, or whatever the messages was they gave back in those days. The gladiators, everybody gave their message,
I think that set the tone.
Yeah.
That set the tone. If someone of that figure wants people to touch him, people to be around, people to, to embrace him. And then now that trickles down for years and centuries and decades. Like, now people feel that same way about greatness. Everybody's attracted to greatness. People want to be around someone who's great, that's doing something.
In my life, I met a lot of great people. Most of the great people I met, they weren't good people. And ever since then, I decided I wanted to be more acquainted with good people. Because as the way the person lives his life, that's how he should be judged, mostly than how he participated in a sport or a political race or campaign or whatever. Because that's all we have to give each other. You know what I mean? Who we are as people. Everybody can't be the champion. But they can take that will of being a champion, be a champion in another field. It could be, it could be a literature field. It could be any other field. It's all about the will of the people. That's all we are. We all spirits. That's all we are. We're fighting spirits. And somebody could take that same spirit and be in another field and be successful.
Yeah, but I think that's what we are feeling now is like we're champions. We're on a level, and that's how. If I can speak for myself, I just love to inspire people.
It's incredible
in whatever way possible, just to give them, because we all had it. We all had it before we were champions. We had a dream of becoming champion, but everybody can have a dream in doing whatever, and just follow your dream, and you'll get there.
I agree.
Yeah, you guys are all embodiments of greatness and human potential, and at the same time, you're human beings. You have taken your God-given abilities, whatever that is, just as a human being, that we all have. We all have the potential to exert as much energy as we want and put out as much energy as we want. And, to me, that's what struck me when I first met Mike. You've come in thinking you're going to meet Hercules, and you meet a man who's humble, and you see all of the humanity, and you realize, wow, we can all do this. If we have enough focus and discipline and work ethic, and we put the right attention to our intention, we can all achieve whatever our dreams, whatever our heart desires. And you guys are the full fucking manifestations of that in your own lives, and you get to project that to everyone.
I agree.
There's this saying that I firmly believe in, is with great power comes great responsibility. And I am an absolute firm believer in that, because now in the position that I'm in, I don't know about all of you guys, but I didn't grow up to where I asked to where, you know what, give me the power one day to be this figure to where I get to motivate and everyone's watching what I do. I never necessarily asked for that.
I was just put in that position.
I got put in that position to where I had to own it. I had to realize, oh, you know what? I'm the first African UFC champion ever.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I never grew up thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the UFC champion. I never grew up thinking that. I got put in this position to where now the continent of Africa get to look at me and say, oh crap, there's another guy that went through what I went through, having to walk a mile or miles to get water, bring it back so we can boil the water to have water to eat or to cook, to clean, to live on for the day. The guy that has to wash their clothes and dry them outside, hand wash clothes and dry them outside. If we wanted food, you had to plant it, have it grow and harvest it to eat. So when we had food for the season, stuff to sell, like kids that are in that situation right now that wake up, they can't fathom the thought of knowing that, hey, you know what, I'm going to be on TV one day. I'm going to be able to be doing something great, as in being a world champion, to where I can touch and motivate people, motivate kids. But now I'm in that position, so it's a surreal experience to be able to be in.
Oos, can I bring you back to what you were saying? I never dreamed of being the first African UFC champion. You never dreamed of that?
No.
What did you dream of? What was in your mind's eye of your visualization of your future when you were beginning on this path as a fighter? Or maybe it was before that.
Honestly, I've actually, that's an amazing question. I've actually thought about that a lot. And from day to day, what I can recall was I wanted to be better than the day before. And so when I got into wrestling, I didn't know what I was doing. Like the first 2 weeks, this girl beat the shit out of me through the practice. And I kid you not, this girl terrorized me. I still know her name, too. In high school, freshman year, Angela Martinez, you know who you are. Yeah. You know who you are. She was a 3-time state champion. She terrorized me, like kept taking me down, just beating on me. And what I can recall was I used to walk home after school. And I would walk home and I'd be thinking, I'm gonna fuck that girl up tomorrow. I'm gonna get her. And I would come back and she'd still kick the crap out of me. And then I would walk home. I'm gonna get her. And she'll kick the crap out of me. And after a while, we were gone, and I don't know how long it was, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. I hit a move on her, and it worked. And I just remember that was progress in my mind. I kept coming, I kept learning, and I got better. And that was just the story of everything. It was just be better than yesterday. Let's get better tomorrow. Let's learn something new. To where it just progressed to where
that's what we used to say day by day, and every way I'm getting better and better. It's not cold around the house.
Yeah.
You know what
Are
I
you
like?
high, Uncle Mike?
Yeah.
Are you, Henry?
I'm really high.
I'm high. I'm high watching him eat, dude. I feel like I'm eating with you.
You're just in it.
Are you big on Mexican food, Mike?
Oh, yes, the beans, the refried beans.
Rice and beans.
rice.
Okay.
Mike's super clean these days, bro.
And the other stuff they got, the real food they got, that's the biggest shit in the world. And the guacamole, what is it?
Guacamole.
Yeah, that's the
Love
biggest
it.
shit in the world now.
Guacamole?
If you put guacamole on
Guacamole.
shit, the shit'll be better. If you put guacamole
That's how
on
good it
shit, the shit'll be better.
Hey, but do you guys also have that in during training? I was wondering, because for me, it's the Mike Tyson move, the right body punch and the right uppercut, and I gotta laugh so many times when I'm sparring, but I'm not laughing out loud, but just in my head when they just throw it. They just throw the right body punch, and you know the Mike Tyson move comes because they're gonna throw the right uppercut. They think, oh man, I knew that was coming. That's the Mike Tyson move. I've seen that a million times.
The move, God.
The move.
I learned it from my trainer.
So what's going on with the toad, Mike?
The toad is beautiful, man. I'm gonna do it again sometime this month, but the toad is like nothing else, man. You know, and you never know. I did it around 5 times. You never know what you're gonna get. I'm saying now I'm in better shape and better condition now. Cause the last time I did the toad, I must have been overweight. Cause the toad told me to get in shape, get in better condition, and so I got in better condition. So I want to see what's gonna happen now when I take it.
Yeah, you know what? The first time I was on your show, the first time I came on your show, remember we talked about it. You told me about the toad, and I was at first it tripped me out a little bit, but then I started hearing like more and more about it, and I'm curious to try it someday.
Man, it's like you die and meet God. It's really bizarre. How does it know to attack that part of your brain where you, I don't know.
For someone of your experience that you've done it, you think this is the right age to do the toad, or do you think a 32-year-old could do it like myself?
Absolutely.
Any age?
Any age, yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, but you think in our position right now,
Excuse me?
being in our position is the right time to do it.
Only you can decide when
Yeah, I
it's
was
the
gonna say,
right
what
time
is your
for
right
you, man.
time? It's gonna tell you everything you want
Nobody
to
can
know.
tell you, now you're going to do the toad.
The toad's gonna tell you everything you're gonna want. Gonna blow your fucking mind. You think you've seen it all? You think you listen?
That scares me.
Listen.
I'm not frightened of a lot of things, but the
scares
fear.
me,
I think
man.
the fear of the unknown, of what's inside my mind that's probably one of my biggest fears, because I internalize a lot of things.
Listen, right? If you ever in your life, you know, I know we all have egos, we all champions and stuff, but if you ever in your life think that you're something special and you're big and you're like in a godly figure, you take the toad and it's gonna let you know that, whoa, you're nothing.
And nothing, yeah.
Whoa, you're gonna say, oh my, you start praying. You realize your only purpose here is to worship something. You're not gonna know what it is, but it's like a God figure to us. Like that's our only purpose.
Wow.
To be humbled.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think that's also makes you a champion too, is the fact that you hold things internally. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, man. This is why and you probably do too. You probably take things to heart
And
when you
that's also
compete.
when you take the toad, right? Everything you think you know, and you held as a secret, boom, everyone knows. Now everyone knows.
Like you think everybody knows, or everybody.
Everybody, yeah, in your mind, everybody knows all your secrets, everything you think you've been holding. If he knew that about me, if they knew this about me,
Yeah.
oh no. Now you got the feeling that everybody knows that now. Holy shit, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
You can't kill yourself, you're dead already.
Wow.
That's epic, man.
That's That
Look at
You
that.
gotta, Mike, I don't know about you, but I think we need to start the Toad Retreat.
God is my witness. That's what I want to do. That's my main goal.
Dude,
Yeah.
what's up? What's up? The Toad Retreat.
That's my main goal.
The Toad Retreat.
I want to do an Indian reservation.
do you think we'll I mean, Mike, looking where you're at now, do you think something like that could drastically change to where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to fight anymore.
Maybe.
No, listen, can I know what it might tell you? Man, it might tell you so many things. It might give you a purpose to fight that
Yeah.
you never knew you had.
Yeah. It might further.
You might be fighting to build river dams in Africa or somewhere, in Haiti. You never know. This shit is really heavy. Listen, you think you know something, then you take the toe. You don't know shit. I've been all over the world, been with all kind of women, did all kind of drugs, been with all kind of liquor, been with all kind of people, fancy, rich, every position, royalty. You take the toe, whoa, I don't know shit. I'm a dumb motherfucker. I don't know shit. My whole life was a waste.
Wow, that's and you've met Rashad Evans, Sugar
Yeah.
Rashad.
Yeah, we have
My
Rashad.
man.
He's the man.
Rashad is my big brother, and I
the
say
man.
that because and like this is going back to what we were talking about. With great power comes great responsibility.
I think he said that when he was on here.
Yeah, it's
He said the same thing.
Rashad was one of those guys who he was in a position to where he had the power. He was a superstar. He was at the top of the sports, and he was the first time ever and that I've ever been starstruck was with Rashad, and I met him in Denver. He walked into the gym when I came in the train, and I turned around and I saw him. Oh shit, that's Rashad Evans. Don't say nothing. Don't act cool. Be cool. Don't say nothing. And we worked out that session together. And after we worked out, and here I am. I'm just a guy, a wrestler training for the Olympics, and this is a superstar known worldwide. And we sat down and we just talked, and he was like, "Big brother." We just talked. I didn't have those restrictions, those fear of know what to say, what not to say, and he didn't as well. And I just couldn't believe of a guy of his stature, that superstar, was able to do that and just be so bare and so raw with me.
You know, so he done it told as well, right?
Yes,
So this
he's
is
tried
awesome,
it.
right? And he realized all purpose after doing it told you realize we're here for a reason. We don't know why we're here. You just ask yourself, what's your purpose? You don't even fucking know. So we're here for a reason. We're all fucking here. This is our purpose to be here. Some purpose to educate one another, to teach us this, to teach us that. And we're just here. We think we're fucking pretty much steering our own life and putting ourselves in that position, but we're not.
Yeah.
We there's nothing coincidental. We just can't describe it. Sometimes you think about somebody you haven't seen in months. Next thing you know, they call you, and you can't explain that.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could have that happen every time you want to talk to somebody. Think about them and they call you. We probably did that one time. We just don't know how to make it work. But
Yeah.
we're not. But trust me, it's a greater force. It's not us.
Well, on that, Mike, and tying that back
Oh,
to
my
your
bad.
thing.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, exactly what you're saying of you're thinking about somebody and then they call you. Or many of these instances happen throughout our lives that if we're in tune enough, we can pick them up and recognize them. But like that experience of the toad and all your secrets are out there for the world to see and feel, at the end of when they look under a microscope at everything, it's all just energy and vibration. We're all just matter. We're not even matter. We're energy waves. We're particles
We
of
don't
energy.
know why we get mad when we're mad. We
And-
don't know when we're happy. It's just we got that shit. We don't know.
Building on top of that, our thoughts. Every thought that we have is a vibration that sends out. Like we're just antennas of energy and vibrations that just go out into the universe. And if people are in touch enough, you can pull them out of thin air, basically.
This is my fear.
To quell that fear of yours is that so many people are turned off that they're not aware enough to pick up on anything anyway. And with technology and all of the 5G waves that we're being blasted with and all the cell towers and everything else that's going on, the radiation, this sensitivity that human beings are naturally gifted with since, for hundreds of thousands of years since we came into being, whenever that was. this is an ability that we have that's just been dulled over the centuries to what it is now, where many people are just driving around asleep at the wheel. I just went on a tangent. Henry's a little stoned.
Have you guys
So
seen?
you stoned? Rico, you smoke?
have
You
you
guys
guys-
consume
Have you guys
cannabis?
seen
Yeah.
the
In
movie
Holland- in
Doctor
Holland we have,
Strange?
but-
Yeah, Doctor Strange
Have
is
you
the
guys
shit.
seen that?
It's the
I know the
shit.
character, but I didn't see the movie.
It's the shit,
Doctor
bro.
Mike, you gotta
the
watch the
superhero
movie.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, you love it, bro.
You gotta watch it. It's kind of tying into this. It's that fear because he goes into after he's a medical doctor and then he crushes his hands.
Yeah.
And then he goes searching for purpose. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And actually, he actually was searching for being selfish, wanted to get his hands back so he can go back to operating because
Yeah.
that was his life.
Because he was like a master neurosurgeon or
the
something.
rock star.
Yeah.
But then he gets over to where was it? Somewhere in Nepal or somewhere
Yeah.
where and he finds this the lady who
Temple.
Yeah, the
Temple.
temple, yeah.
yeah, and they just kind of pull him into this, and it just the way that they work the energies, the
It's very
dimensions,
toadish.
the different, very toad. And this is what scares me is if there's really energy out there like that, if there's really power like that.
There is, bro. That's
and,
you.
Yeah, and that right there is mind blowing.
Yeah, but don't you have the feeling like the feeling I have is like I give a lot of presentations and I'm telling the story and then at a certain point there comes a picture and where you see me sitting after the first time I became champion with the belt like this, and I always say after this picture was made, I could have dropped dead and it wouldn't have mattered because I've done what I've been put on this earth for to do, and that was becoming kickboxing world champion because that was my
That's just a platform for you to do
Yeah.
what you really
yeah.
want to do.
But that was but that was like that's my vision of how I approach things. It's like there's this I'm walking on a path, but the path is already there. You know,
Yeah.
it's already I'm walking it, but it's already certain what's gonna happen and
might
where
be,
you're gonna
might be
go.
the next prime minister, man.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
So I have a question, Mike. I have a question on the toad. The experience that when you have the toad, what it feels like. But don't you feel like the adversity that you've lived here on Earth has kind of given you that purpose, right? You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you've gone through a lot, Mike, and you've learned through a lot. You've fallen, you have gotten up. You don't think. I mean, what other than that could you say that the toad gives you? Right? Don't we all recognize our flaws? Don't we all recognize?
This is just like all of us. We all had our tests. God gives us our tests to really show how strong we really are. Tests that we don't even know. Maybe losing our parents at a young age, or maybe losing somebody that affected our family, or did something to somebody with a just whatever it may have been. So it may have affected us. It may have been affecting us for, a matter of years, and that's what it's really come to overcoming the adversity in life, Some people get shot. I know people get shot in the head. It's what happened when you deal with that adversity. What are you gonna do? You gonna lay down for it, or you gonna keep fighting it? And that's what life's about, fighting adversity and overcoming adversity and seeing what kind of person. Are you gonna be bitter and mean because life wasn't kind to you? Or you figured it wasn't kind to you? Or you gonna say, fuck that and live life to its fullest means and be happy?
Man,
Poetry,
That's like a
Mike.
slam dunk.
Nice. Mike.
I'm blessed because I think it all the time. I'm blessed to how many people I'm connected to, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. How just that the connections that I've have in this world, and I just know it. Like it's something bigger that's in store for me to do, because like I'm connected to this guy. This guy you were born in where?
The Netherlands.
Netherlands. I was born in Ubiana, Nigeria. I'm a village. Like I'm a little boy, but look where I'm at. I'm connected to this guy because I ran into him. I've known him for years.
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I ran into him for years. I'm connected to this guy. Where were you born, Henry?
California.
California, just Olympic champion, two division world champion. Like
Yeah.
I was connected to this guy. I've known him for years.
Yeah.
Through this journey of life, I'm connected to you, Mike. I grew up watching you. I grew up learning and hearing and seeing about you, to where like this connection.
Do you think this is all because of your hard work?
No,
Oh,
and that's the
yeah.
purpose. That's
This is
my
not our
fears.
hard work. This is just the divine putting us in the proper perspective. And we're all here for a reason. We don't know the reason, but we're here for that reason. Maybe we're supposed to decipher that, but we're all here for a reason. This is not by accident. You know, our life was just a big surprise, but it was spectacular. Can you imagine what death is going to be like? Do you imagine God made all this beautiful stuff, made us to feel this way, and you're just going to black it out and get rid of it? Do you think that's really going to happen? The energy that we feel, that we have when we talk, when we're thinking, sitting right now thinking, you think that's just going to just go blank and don't exist no more once this body's dead? I don't know, but do you think that? That's going to be over, that energy that we have right now, that's making you think, that's making all of us think right now. You think that's going to die? That's just going to be over when the body dies? I don't know. I just can't imagine that.
The toad didn't. You never. Did you think of afterlife with the toad when you had the toad?
When I listen, when you take the toad is the closest thing to death. It's the only thing I knew about death, and I was comfortable with that. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I'm just. I enjoy asking Mike more questions than
the other way around.
Yeah, you know,
that was pretty awesome.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think.
We're all afraid of death, but death is death has to be glorious. How could death be glorious if life was glorious? You know, how could that be bad? Death would have to be just as good as life because they're both spectacular.
I want to do something, man. Because as you guys hear Mike talk, dude, I want to hear let's give Mike a deep question.
Tying into what you were just saying.
Let's give Mike a deep question, man.
Tying into what you were saying is, why is it that when people pass, and I do this, and I've done this a lot because I do have faith, and when someone passes of someone that I know, like their mom passes. And I always tell them, and just to console them, and I let them know, like, hey, don't cry or don't be sad. They're in a better place. They don't hurt anymore. They don't feel the pain that we feel here anymore. They've passed on to a better place. But deep down inside, I've always questioned, do I really feel that? Do I really believe that? Because what's going to happen when I'm put in that place, in that situation? And you told me that, you know, obviously you're doing the toad has been the closest that you've felt to that. Like how, and you've experienced loss. How is that different now than years and years ago before you've done the toad?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what I believed before I did the toad. And most of the things I believed before the toad, I really didn't believe. And then once I did the toad, I knew there's a possibility that there's something greater than myself. It has to be, because I realized that I'm not nothing. You know, because I can't save someone I love from dying. People think the greatest, this, the greatest, that. The greatest what? Someone I love and care about is dying. I can't save them. You know, and so I realized this has to be something bigger. And I want to believe after using the toad, once I die, I'll be able to see them again and meet them again. But that wasn't the reality when I took the toad. When I took the toad, it was just all about me. Everything I ever loved and thought about and never cared about was not even in my mind. I never thought about it. It non-existed. So I never saw no happy face and never got reacquainted with any ancestors or people that were dead that I loved. It was just all about dealing with me and whatever I had to deal with within myself. I don't think God deals with us as a group like we do in church or mosque or anything. I think it's a one-on-one deal. After doing the toad, yeah, I think it's one-on-one.
Do you think this doing the toad made you a better person or a different person, or your perspective on yourself?
It made me totally self-conscious of myself. You know what I mean? My past flaws and stuff.
Yeah, so for why you're doing
those, yeah, those were decisions I had to make to reach the level that I am now.
Yeah.
You know?
Everything makes more sense now.
Yeah, everything makes a lot of sense now. And now it's up to me to to continue on this ride to fuck it up. You know?
I'm high.
I think we got to start a new show.
We gotta
That
get
should
some
be-
mystic talkers, the people talking about afterlife. We gotta get some of those people on this show.
Yeah, Sod Guru. Get him on. Who else? Tony's into it.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it. That's some wonderful stuff, they're thinking about as we get older. So y'all gotta see, but as I get older, I wonder, like, wow, I won't be here another 50 years. What the hell's gonna go on? What's happening? I remember those other fighters before me. How did they think of themselves not being in this world? How could they think of this world without them being in there? Where else can we be? Because we've been here so long, so how can we think of being anywhere else? Unless we have to reprogram our mind to deal with where we're going to go after we leave here.
Yeah. I want to ask this because this is something that I frequently battle with in my mind is we feel that there was a time where I as a kid, I remember when I was like 6th grade, and I was just always like, man, I can't wait to be 18 because now I get to buy cigarettes.
Wow, yeah.
I get to buy cigarettes. I can't wait to be 21. I didn't even care about alcohol, but I get to do that. I get to buy alcohol. So I just remember the feeling of feeling like a kid. I always felt like a kid. And then 18 came and went. 21 came and went. And now I know that there's certain things that I can't do as yourself, Mike. Are you able to look outside yourself and maybe be a little envious or a little jealous of yourself? That because I hear some guys, former athletes, champions, look at themselves now and be like, man, because they're older and they're like, man, you know how tight I was at 21? You know how tight I was? And I'm 32 now. I don't see that. I still feel like a kid.
It's good.
Like in my head, I still feel like a kid. I didn't notice that I'm no longer 12 anymore. I know I'm not 18. I'm not 21. I'm not 24. I'm 32. I don't feel that time. Like, do you ever, Mike, outside, kind of like look into your body and just be like, man, envious of, I was 22, I was 23.
No, I look at myself and say, wow, these kids are smart kids and stuff. I couldn't handle all that energy, all that stuff I had.
Yeah.
It was explosive, tearing me apart. I had to be involved with something.
Yeah.
Mike, the feeling you have now, the person you are today, what would that person tell Mike Tyson, the young Mike Tyson? What will he tell them?
Then,
how would he advise him to what's coming, even though the path would be the same?
And do you think the young Mike Tyson would take it and listen?
I would tell him, just listen, whatever you do, just start now, and he might have mercy on you. Get on your knees and start praying.
Do you think the young Mike Tyson would listen?
No way.
So it wouldn't have mattered.
I wish I'd listened, though.
Yeah.
You're gonna listen. You're gonna listen eventually.
Guess that's why they say you live and you learn, right?
That's why I think, like I said, there's a path, and we just walking the path, but the path's already there.
Yeah.
And everything happens on that path. We meet people, and that's why I always say, hey, I try to surround myself with people with positive energy. And everybody, like we were talking about, everybody gives out a certain type of energy, and certain energy you just feel, you're on the same level, and some energy just doesn't work.
If you're not loving anything greater than yourself, you ain't living. You ain't living. That's about getting to know yourself. And if you live whatever length of life you live and don't get to know yourself, it was a wasted life.
So you think you know yourself the best now than
I've ever known before at this stage of my life, yeah.
Yeah, nice. This is some deep shit,
Deep
guys.
shit, man.
But I like it. Really
We
like
got to
it.
do this, man. How do
Do
you
this
guys
more
feel,
often.
young fighters, young champions, being with Mike, a guy you looked
but
up to?
they don't understand they're capable of doing whatever they want,
Of course.
Like I was saying, fighting's like a spirit and stuff. And it's not necessarily the style of fighting, but the morality behind the style. You know what I mean? The determination, the willpower, the dedication to give your total life to this whole science of fighting and stuff like that. And stuff. And it's very special. It's been special since the beginning of time, since the first two people ever did it. And it's not going to ever go away. If anything, they make more arts of fighting. This is the oldest, this is probably one of the first things any humans ever did, was fight. You know?
I don't care who you are, where you are. It's like you're in a room and there's a lion like sitting in the corner, and you come in and you that's the presence that I feel like I'm in. There's lions, like there's big majestic animals, like just beings in the corner.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what's going on.
But listen, that's awesome too.
I get drawn here. There's all this energy. It just I feel it.
I used to say to my trainer, right, I used to read about old fights of God. How could anybody beat him? He had losses on him. Like he was an animal. How could anybody beat him? And then my trainer comes on and said, there's some certain people that can handle animals. You know? And then that's true, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
There's certain people, they may not be flashy fighters, or they may not be charismatic fighters. People, wow, that was great. But for some reason, they always beat the badasses.
Yeah, they
you
know
what
how
I mean?
to handle that.
Just always those kind of guys, they could handle those badasses.
Yeah.
The smart, very basic fighter had the basic techniques. They just know all the rules to the T. Experienced fighter.
That happens in team sports as well. Like in the NFL, certain teams know how to play against the Patriots and always kick their ass. While the Patriots are just kicking everybody's ass.
Triple C over here in the corner.
Triple C!
How are you feeling?
Imagine
Triple
back
C?
in ancient times,
Hey.
like when they had the Punic Wars back then, when they would say like Achilles, and they would go, my fighter challenged your fighter, and the winner controls the whole country. Yeah.
That's how shit was settled
That's how it
back
was settled back then.
back
My
in
man
the
against
day.
your man. Oh,
Fuck,
no.
bro.
It had to be to the death, because if you lost, man, they were going to kill you anyway.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
Nah, you don't come back. You don't come back. Nah, you
That's
gotta
like
die right there.
in fucking Troy
Yeah.
with Brad Pitt as
Achilles.
Achilles.
Yeah.
He's like chilling in the tent with the two chicks. And they're like, Achilles, man,
You gotta go.
We need you, bro.
He's like, come
And he's
on.
like, fuck. And he just grabs his sword and walks out there.
Now, what kind of pressure? What did you think Achilles felt? The pressure that he felt.
Crazy.
He felt that no one could beat me. I'm a god. How can anybody dare dream to match me?
Yeah, that's kind of what the movie portrayed. That's what I got from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supreme confidence. You know, people, even some got entertainers, fighters too. Sometimes their confidence and their ego, you know, it blurs the line of fucking delusional, megalomania, madman, fucking insanity.
Yeah.
But is that the mentality that we have to have at the time? That
Yes.
We have to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I will say, and I was skeptical about saying this, because this is one thing that I do to
Say
this
it.
day when I walk towards that cage is, and there was things that I used to do before competing all through wrestling, but once I started fighting and my mind went to the point where I started thinking of myself in that way to become champion.
Oh, yeah.
I watched your the documentary, and when you broke down your walk, and I started thinking that I do that now. Is when I walk, I'm dancing, but I'm dancing because that walk, I know it's nervous, and it takes me dancing. That's the most, one of the best things that I do. It takes me away from nervousness, everything. So I dance, but while I'm dancing, I'm talking to myself, and I get closer. And that is one thing that I do say to myself is supreme confidence. No one can beat me in here.
No, have to always have the supreme confidence. You know, some of these, what was he? He was like a Persian general. Who was he? Xerxes. One time he's in a battle and something's not going wrong. Every time he loses, he can't imagine losing. Every time he loses, the only reason I lose is because God is jealous. God is jealous because I'm getting so close to him. Do you notice God? He never mess. He never mess with the ants or the bugs. He always strike the biggest tree or the biggest animal. He's getting jealous that I'm getting close to his lofty perch. How could I dare lose? It's only because of God he's jealous seeing I lose. They go that level.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Are you guys good to go? You gotta.
I'm good.
Yeah? I just have to run to the bathroom. I mean,
Go
we can
ahead.
keep it going.
Go ahead.
What's up with Henry?
I'll be right back.
Eddie's high the kite.
Henry's flying.
It's all that smoke you blew in here.
Hey, what fight did you walk into most confidently? Some food for thought. You guys discuss.
Henry, you want to? Henry,
Yeah,
I'll
Henry,
check
yeah,
your
yeah.
time.
Henry, get to
Demetrius,
work.
what about Demetrius? You
Attack
had to be
that.
confident in that fight.
How come you guys giving me this mic, dude? Like how come you guys feeding me the
You
mic
can
like
do
that?
it, dude.
I want to hear. I want to
some
hear
knowledge.
what fight was it? What fight?
What fight? What do you mean? What fight for Mike that you entered
What
more
fight were
confident?
you- your fight. Yeah, we're all gonna talk about our fight.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have to say I'd have to say with TJ Dillashaw.
Oh man.
I was very, very confident on that fight. Just the simple fact that I've always had a desire to fight him, and he's a great fighter, man. He's a great fighter. I think that's what kind of drove me, made me more confident because I knew he was gonna bring the best out of me. Is fighting like a high level fighter like that, but I felt confident because of it. It took me to a whole nother level of mindset.
Yeah, I
So-
can dig it. Yeah.
And that was against TJ, even though he was probably the better of them all.
Yeah, for me, I would say it was a guy I fought, Sergio Moraes, and it was kind of a brawler, but he was also one of like the most decorated jiu-jitsu guys in the sport. I mean, he has victories over Kron Gracie. He was like the last guys to like be like he's a jiu-jitsu like a 3-time jiu-jitsu world champion or something like that. But I mean, I knew he had holes, and the reason I was confident in this fight was because I trained differently. Because this guy was offered to me a couple fights ago, and I turned the fight down. I said no, I didn't want to fight that fight because I thought that I was better than that guy because they had promised me something before. It didn't work out, but I said I turned the fight down, and then I got in trouble. I got it extended, my contract, and then the fight came up again 2-3 fights later. And I just remember I trained so differently for that fight because I had a chip on my shoulder. I was like, I'm going to prove to them. There's a reason they tried to give me this guy twice, because I think they feel that this guy could derail me. He could take me down or submit me or knock me out or something. And I just remember I trained, and the training camp, my mind was somewhere different, to where even when I walked in there, I watched the fight, and I watched myself, and I try to put myself in that presence of that feeling, the feelings that I had at that moment. And I just remember I was just confident. That was the first time I said, you know what, I'm gonna hit you and you're gonna go to sleep. I don't care what happens, but I know my hands are gonna hurt you worse than your hands are gonna hurt me. And I ended up getting the knockout in that fight.
Yeah, I think for me was with the Badahari fight, because it was I was kickboxing champion for some years then, but I fought everybody, but I didn't fight that guy, and he was from the past, from the K1 days. He was the man. Rico fought and beat everybody, but he needs to fight this guy to be really legit. So I remember that was the biggest kickboxing fight there was at that moment, and it still is, and it's coming again. So I remember coming into the arena, so everybody went like crazy, and I just felt like this is my moment. And again, like I said, this is my vision, but I've been walking on this path, and this path has been prepping me for this moment right here. And that's how confident I was stepping in that ring. And the first round, I just kept pressuring in. He opened up my nose, and I wasn't even bothered. I was focused. I was like, this guy, left or right, doesn't matter. He's gonna give up. He's gonna break somewhere. And he did. So, and now this December, we're gonna do that fight once more. So I can't wait. So what was your
That's
fight?
awesome, brother.
Like, I must have been Tyrell Biggs. It was this guy. He was the Olympic champion. He was the world amateur champion. And I was kind of jealous of him because I was boxing in the amateur days and he was getting all the press and everything. And so it was time to fight. I was champion. I was defending my title against him. And I was just at my best. I was just focused. I was just I was just so relaxed, so calm. It was almost like that I transcended that. My mind, my spirit left my body, and I was watching myself fight him. You know, it was weird, and it was just a great fight. Went 7 rounds, and I think I looked my best.
Now, I want to just tag on to that. Is which fight would you say you had the purest and the cleanest preparation for?
I don't know. I always stayed training. I was as a young kid. When I was young, I had 15 fights in 1 year. I just always stayed active.
Yeah.
15 fights.
15.
That's crazy.
Professional or amateur?
Professional.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You know what you got? You got 2 belts from 2 different weight divisions, right?
Yeah.
The hands of your arms are simultaneous. That means right now, if you have to go down and lose 5 pounds, you have to fight a guy, then you got to put 10 more pounds on to get up and fight the next guy. That's almost like unheard of, man. Stuff like that. It's like health fucking... There's nobody that's a health specialist would ever tell somebody to do something like that.
Yeah, but that's
what we do.
That's what comes with success, man. That's what comes with winning 2 belts.
So
You got 2 divisions after you.
Like people, I tell my wife, because I lost around 40 pounds, you know, there's a different mindset. You have to be almost like an animal. You have to sacrifice so much. You know, almost like starve yourself.
Yeah.
And what, just curiosity, what weight division do you feel most comfortable?
Wow, that's a good question.
Whoever pays the most.
Like, hey, I can eat as much as
Whoever pays the
possible.
most.
Because for me,
No, I prefer upper weight. I prefer, it's a lot better. I don't gotta cut my balls off.
yeah,
I mean, that's pretty simple to ask. I mean, that's pretty simple to answer. But you also heard another division. I don't know.
but for me, what works is like I'm a heavyweight, but I always drop a little bit before I get on a diet, and that makes me feel better, but not better in the way of I feel stronger or something, but better in the sharpness.
Comfort.
It gets me sharper because it's another thing I'm adding to for me in my head as an advantage to my opponent. Like, hey, I'm focused, and this gets me even more focused. But I don't know if that works for you, because you guys have to go really deep. I don't have to go deep. I just do it for me, for the focus. How does that?
You want to get that? You want to get that?
No, you're right, because I have moved up a weight. I wrestled at 165, and then when I was in college, and then went up to 74. And it's at some point, you do feel, when you're not cutting weight, a lot of people, they feel that instant gratification, instant joy. They're like, oh yeah, one less thing to worry about. I can eat now. So it takes the focus away from the goal, which is normally to diet. Make sure my diet's on point, because in order for me to compete at my best, I have to make the weight. In order for me to even compete, I need to make the weight. So I gotta make sure everything's in point. So that focus. Now you take that out, some people get lost. Yeah, some people get lost with it. But I completely agree with you. And that's something that Francis Ngannou's doing now a little bit too. He's more caught. When he fought for the title, he was just like, he just wanted to be big. He said he just wanted to be big and just want to be the biggest guy in there. But it cost him after the fight. He said he felt that he was too big, he was too slow, too sluggish. So now he's cautious of around what weight he goes into the fight at, because he feels sharper, he feels strong, and just quicker and smarter in there. And I completely agree with that.
You know, all the ancient gladiators, they checked their bones when they died, you know, and these scientists, and then most of them was like vegans and vegetarians. They didn't eat much meat, if any.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
So, Mike, you're gonna turn me into a vegan now.
Mike?
I think that us eating animals is just not what's going on. That's just not natural. That's why we get all these diseases, cancer, all these fucking gouts and stuff.
Mike is really...
You know, milk is like, you know, cow milk is like, you know, pus. That's like
Yeah, it's mucus.
It's mucus.
Yeah.
Human beings are some nasty motherfuckers.
Mike has slowly but surely been convincing me that I need to be at least a vegetarian.
Yeah, I don't do dairy. I don't do dairy.
No
but,
dairy?
But
I
Mike,
can't
do you
even
think it's
shit right when I do dairy? If I eat dairy, I can't even go to
what?
the store.
No, I don't. But do you think it's meat, or do you think it's the chemicals in the meat?
I think it's the chemicals in the meat, and I think the meat is really bad to eat as well. 'Cause I think you are what you eat.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
It's a transferal of energy.
Yeah. But animal. Okay. So how,
and
well, I
this
guess
is the
they're
problem
animals.
with animals. So
yeah.
the way that animal foods are processed and created is, first of all, they have to kill these animals, right?
Okay.
And how do you do that on an industrial scale the easiest way possible? And it's done horribly. It's disgusting, the way they treat the animals. And so, animals, if you're like me, you believe that animals are conscious beings just like us. They feel emotions and feelings. And, the truth is that when these animals are being killed, all of those fear hormones are just flooding their system. And it's going into their tissues that we then eat and consume, and you're taking on that energy, first of all. And second of all, spiritually, physically, I think that there's a lot to be said about consuming as many plant-based foods as you can, from a health perspective and a spiritual and moral perspective as well. I've always been a guy, I've eaten a shitload of meat.
Yeah.
And being with Mike has started to shift that. I'm eating much less red meat.
Yeah, see, he's still young, but imagine at my age, you start eating that, you can't shit right. It's hard to shit.
Yeah, it's much.
Yeah.
Shits are much better when you eat more veggies.
Well, that's what,
You enjoy them even more.
Yeah.
They're just much simpler,
Why is it that Usman passed with Mike when you guys started talking about shit? He wanted to,
It's like, get out
You got something to say about shitting, bro?
That's real talk. Watch
He wanted to share the mic, but he's-
when you get older, you're gonna realize taking a good shit is better than a good hump.
damn.
A good dump is
Damn.
better than
Well,
a
if you
good
can
hump.
take a good shit and get your dick hard, you're doing pretty good.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Dude, that's
two
gotta be
good
quoted,
things.
Big Mike.
You know what I
guys,
mean?
can you repeat that?
Take a shit.
Yeah.
Taking a good shit.
Taking a good
Your
dump
dick
is
can
better
get
than a good hump.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. We should
I
make
believe
shirts.
All right.
If you can't shit, you're really fucked up.
Man, can't shit, man. Imagine didn't Elvis, who passed away in the shitter?
Fucking Elvis,
Was it
dude.
really? Fuck.
Really? Is that true story?
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Let's get some lunch, guys. Let's get some lunch.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys so much. This has been a blast.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Thank
you so much for
having
watching
us.
and listening. Till next time, I'm out of here.
One.
Peace.
Shit, man, this is something. I'm high.